I have a letter that I've written to you that I would like to read. It's regarding the sage grouse. Encloses a copy of a letter from the San Juan County Commission to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, dated November 22nd, 2011. I obtained the letter after filing a grant request with the clerk's office. I was informed by the clerk that the county did not have a copy of the letter, found no mention of it in the county commission minutes, and the clerk knew nothing about it. But he finally was able to get a copy of the letter for the county files from the state agency and then got me a copy. Commissioner Lyman referred to the letter in the August 13th commission meeting, stating that he was not given full information when he was asked to sign it by the commission chairman and would like to rescind his signature. The letter states that the county commission supports a Nature Conservancy project to protect sage grouse habitat by acquiring 1,080 acres in San Juan County. It does not state who the landowner is. The letter further states there is local support for this project. The letter is disturbing to me for several reasons. One, lack of disclosure. The letter constitutes an official action of the county commission, yet it was not discussed or approved in open commission meeting. The county clerk had no record of the letter's existence until a copy was provided by a state agency. There should have been a discussion in an open commission meeting, a motion passed to approve the letter, and an official copy on file in the commission records. This was never done. Landowners who are affected by the sage grouse issue were never approached or given an opportunity to voice an opinion. There is no local support, as the letter suggested, and as the August 13th commission meeting demonstrated. There is no local involvement whatsoever. The origination of the letter was all done privately at the request of the commission chairman. 2. Conflict of interest. Since the landowner of 1,080 acres is the commission chairman, it is a conflict of interest for him to use his public position to support this project for his personal benefit. Late last spring, the sage grouse issue came to the forefront in commission meeting when Bob Turry expressed concern over the possible listing of the bird as an endangered species and the possibility of land being designated as critical sage grouse habitat. The commission chairman should have openly stated then that he has a personal interest in the sage grouse habitat, not only with the project to sell 1,080 acres, but with a prior conservation easement he sold to the Nature Conservancy. He should have disclosed this conflict of interest. It is unfortunate the interests of affected landowners were ignored, that county business was conducted in private, and that public trust has been violated. As a county resident and a landowner, I respectfully request the following. I would like both this letter and the commission letter of November 22nd made part of the commission minutes. I would like the commission to issue a letter to Governor Herbert and the State Agriculture Commissioner Blackham that a social economic analysis be done prior to any decision as to sage grouse listing on the endangered species list, and asking for their support and help with this as they are facing a similar challenge in northern Utah with the greater sage grouse. I would like the County Commission to get further input from the local landowners and citizens of the county on this issue. I would like the County Commission to retract the support given in the letter of November 22nd, 2011. Further, because of his conflict of interest, I believe the Commission Chairman should not participate in any official decisions on this issue. Sincerely, Gail Johnson. And I'll leave that with you for you. I need you to understand I do not do this in the spirit of meanness towards any of you, but I am disappointed in that letter, the content of that letter, and the way that it was done. It's not the way to do county business. And I hope you'll do all you can to correct what was done there and to protect the interests of these landowners. These are people whose private property rights, I think, are endangered at this point. And that's all I have to say on the matter at this point. I may have more to say later, but right now that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. I need to make a statement about it then, Gail.
Okay.
We've been dealing with the sage grouse issue for 15 years that I know of out in that area. And when I bought property from my brother, he had entered into an agreement with the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources, not the Nature Conservancy, to put a conservation easement on his private property. I bought that property from him and it had a conservation easement on it. There are at least 2 other people out in that area who have conservation easements on their property because it is a private property right issue. And people you know, should have, I think we all believe that people have the right to defend their private property rights. And so when others wanted to enter into that agreement, the whole purpose of that thing was to try to keep the birds from getting listed. And we were getting advice from their contracts in any way or not?
You're missing the point of my letter. My point, I was not addressing the sage grouse issue. I was addressing the way this letter that the county commission wrote November 22nd in support of selling your land to the Nature Conservancy. The way that was done, I think that was inappropriate, and I believe you have a conflict of interest there. That's what I was addressing in my letter, and that's what I'd like to have you, the commission, address right now. The issue of the sage grouse itself and what position you take as a board, that's a different thing. I'm not addressing the sage grouse issue itself. I'm addressing the conduct of this board on that letter that was done in November.
Yep.
My letter is addressing the conduct of this commission in writing that letter outside of commission meeting to support Commissioner Adams in selling his private property and not even doing it in a commission meeting and saying there was local support for this when there was no local support even talked about for it. That's my issue.
I understand that.
And also we've talked
but
about...
I feel like it's an ancillary to all this other, and that's why I wanted you to hear these facts.
Well, I'm sorry you're offended by that, Gail, because there's been commissioners that have sat behind this desk that have supported lots of projects that they benefited from.
They haven't done letters on commission letterhead in a...
How do you know that? How do you know that?
All the time. Well, I don't know, but I'm speaking about this issue.
I mean, there was a big project down south of Blanding for uranium mill a long time ago that certainly, certainly some people...
Well, Bruce, I can't speak for what happened in the past. I can speak for right now and what I see happening right now, and I think this is an inappropriate action on the part of this commission to do this letter outside a commission meeting without the involvement of the public and without it being done openly, without disclosure there, particularly when it benefits you personally. And like I say, I do not bring this forward being mean-spirited or anything like that. I just disagree, and I think it was inappropriate conduct on the part of this commission to do it that way. I think there should be full disclosure on this.
Well, this is not your fault for saying it. I just want her to hear it.
We sign letters from time to time supporting the Blue Mountain Hospital for them getting help from our congressional people. We signed a letter last week. I'm not sure we disclosed that in open meeting to our congressional people about farmers and our concern for the drought or 2 weeks ago. So I guess maybe what we need to do is anytime we sign any kind of a letter in any way, shape, or form, I guess we're going to have to disclose it in our open meeting, even though we may feel like that it's something that would be supported. Phil?
Well, I appreciate Gail's letter, and I appreciate being held accountable for the actions of the commission. There's a lot of moving parts in the county, and I'm sure there are degrees. I know we've signed letters that we agree as a commission. Well, that's a good thing, and for expediency or whatever purpose, a letter may get signed. This one did seem quite specific to an individual, and I had some of the same feelings. You know, this shouldn't this be happening in a commission meeting? But so I concur. I think it's a misstep on the part of the commission, and I think it would be a good thing to make it part of the public record and to, you know, address this issue more thoroughly. I have to admit, at the time, I was not all that aware of sage grouse issues and how they affected the farmers up here. This one was dealing with one landowner, and it should have taken place. It should have taken place in a commission meeting. But I do appreciate being held accountable, and I'm glad to know that there's expectations. I apologize, you know, for times when we missed the mark. And as far as the election goes, you know, that's the beautiful thing about this country is you throw your hat in the ring. I admire you for that. We don't play politics. We try to do what's best for our communities, and I know that's what your motivation is.
That's all.
Well, you know, every election has a chance that you come up with changes you don't want or changes you do want. So that's why it's called an election. People vote, and the majority carries the election. So
I don't think people realize what fire.
That's why the ballot box is a private place where people vote their conscience. And anyway. But as far as the response on that letter, I agree with your assessment of it. I think it should
I guess
take
my question
place.
is, why wasn't it not done in an open commission meeting like most of all your other letters are done? Why was it never reported? Why was there no copy and file and the clerk's office aware of it?
My response to that is I think it was dealing more specifically with an individual property owner, and I think there was some expediency. I think that's my take on it.
Something like that would
Well, was this
solve some of the
issue
problem.
expedient that it had to be done in between commission
Well,
meetings and never reported?
I'm only looking at the future.
Can't remember. It's been going on for 15 years.
No, this letter went on last November.
Don't know. It's last November.
And I don't know.
Nobody's trying to hide anything. It's kind of a.
And that's why I say when things are not reported in commission meeting, and they can happen outside commission meeting, and it's an official action of this commission, it looks suspicious.
I don't think it was outside. I think we were right here in.
It was not in commission meeting.
Well, it wasn't in the minutes. Yeah.
It was not done in commission meeting.
But I just don't remember. Do you?
Yeah.
Where were we?
Was there
At your
a
house.
tape?
At my house?
Was there a tape? Huh?
So all three of us went up to my house?
No, I was on my way back from Salt Lake. You called. I asked if I could stop by.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I will disclose this. I'm not perfect, and I'm obviously made a mistake, so I confess. I should have done this in a more open meeting. It was in an effort to try and keep the grouse from getting listed, and it was a private property rights issue on my part. But you know, I'm imperfect, so I'm fully disclose that.